Are you looking for ways to simplify your paper crafting and still have professional results?
In this video, we are going to cover a simple strategy to create this card from Crafter's Companion.
Hi, this is Carrie.
And Colleen
From Scissors to Paper Crafting, where we give you tips, tricks, and strategies that make creating fun, simple, and easy to follow.
If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. All the links for everything can be found in the description below. Today, we're going to be working with Connie Fong and Crafter's Companion. It's a 12-piece die and stamp set.
You can find this package on Amazon for $12.75 at the time of this video.
It can be used for children or adults, and it looks great with pencils, ink blends, and even alcohol markers.
It doesn't come with the die that, perfectly fits around the sentiment. And I really don't understand why Crafter's Companion didn't include that.
That's okay. I have scissors that I can make a cloud out of. So today I'm going to do the boy angel. I think I'm using the friends are angels in disguise because I really like that saying. So before we start, I'm going to go over some of the supplies that we need. Today we're going to be using cardstock that's 110 pounds by Neenah, and it's an ivory color.
It's on sale right now on Amazon for $20. It's like $19.99 for a ream.
And the size of card today is going to be a card base of an A2, which is a 4 1/4 by 5.5 card. So today I'm going to be using the Fiscars trimmer in order to go and cut my cardstock.
That is your favorite trimmer.
It is.
And you guys are going to see lots of products from us because we do switch it up. We use different things to be able to show you what's out there.
So since we're cutting it on the 11-inch side, you actually get 2 cards. And one of the tricks is that you cut it from the bottom and slice upward, and then it goes and holds your paper steady in the spot that you need it to be held in.
Yeah, make sure it stays nice and straight because your cuts being straight is very important when you're doing anything that you're going to be folding in half.
So we're going to take our scoreboard, and on the 8.5 side of the paper that you just sliced, we are going to go to the 4 1/4 line and score right down the center. There we go. And then you go and you fold it into the corner so that way that your corners line up evenly and the edge of the paper will be nice and tight.
And that starts that creasing thing too, where it's just stretching the fibers just a little bit. The last thing you want to do is rip your base card and have to start again.
The next thing I'm going to do is take my bone folder and smooth up the side, the edge there, to give it a firm crease, like so. And today I'm using a border that's an 1/8 of an inch offset of our base. I cut it at 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 rectangular. The topper goes and helps bring out the color. It also adds a little dimension. Don't glue them together yet, though. The other thing that I also pre-cut was my topper. The topper today is another 1/8 of an inch offset for our border. We cut it 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches rectangle.
And we'll be using a Bristol smooth surface paper from Michaels. It is a 20-sheet pad for $11.99. You can also find this on Amazon. It has a great finish. You'll absolutely love it.
And it's nice with the inks, like how I go and I do my inks for the background and everything. The other thing a topper can put in the topper on is that you can go and decorate the corners. Like we have corner punches. I'll demonstrate here. And it rounds corners. We also have them that do a little bit of a design or scalloped edge.
Yeah, you can get those punches all over the place.
So some of the decorations that I'm going to be using today are some of these cute dog bones.
They are. They're so cute. We got them from Hobby Lobby, I think, didn't we?
Yeah, I believe so.
They range between 99 cents and $2.
Yeah, that's about it. Now that we've gone over all our elements we've chosen for the card, let's get creating.
I do want to mention a few things about calculating the layers that we've done with this card. Our standard now at scissors to paper is 1/8 of an inch offset. We used to use a quarter. So like if you do a quarter all the way around your card, you're going to have 1/8. We did 1/8. So all the way around our card, as she's showing, is actually 1/16 of an inch. And it just allows whatever complementary color you want to use. She used green. That's what you would make your bottom frame color. Now, keep in mind, the more frame colors you put on, like if you did a 4 frame or a 5 frame, it's fine. Just keep in mind, if you're going to mail the card, it will get heavier and postage might be a little more expensive than if you just did layers like this. The one that we're doing today would be just 1 stamp on an envelope.
She's in the same color as the base. The frame color really pops out. Today I'll be using color pencils. They are Colorista pencils by Spectrum Noir. They are nice, creamy, and full of color. Make sure we have the right boards and everything.
Yeah, I think I set them up for you ahead of time.
Thank you so much.
You are very welcome. So the die cuts that she's going to be using will be what? The angel?
The angel and the halo today?
In just a second here, she's going to show you this plate system and how you line it up. She put the die cuts with every embossing machine, die cutting machine has their setup a little different. With this intricate plate system that they came out with and the magic mat, you want to make sure you put your mat down, then your paper, then your die cut goes on top of it. And I like this. I like this method because you can see what you're doing. And if you find that your plates shift or your die cut shift, you can add tape to them. We use green tape from scrapbook.com or even some painter's tape. If you kind of take some of the sticky off of it, that won't rip the paper either. But this is a Bristol paper. It is very strong and works pretty good. We're thinking about getting the Gemini, the automatic one, but I'm nervous about getting that with some of our bigger die cuts and embossing folders. So he cut really nicely.
He cut beautiful.
And you don't have to fussy cut him.
No.
That's always a plus.
That's a big plus with getting the die cut with the stamps.
He's a little half colored.
The lines there's the lines. There you go. Can you see it that way? Yep. Then there's like a little strip of tape in there to help secure the die when you put it back in. It makes it so much easier to keep control of everything.
We leave it in the original packaging until it doesn't stick anymore. And then we'll try to move them. You can buy white magnets and just trace your dies on them. It helps you put them back on the paper without trying to figure out, oh, where did this one go? Why doesn't this one fit? So I like the tracing that's done on that.
So we'll move our die cutter out of the way for right now. A little bit of noise with it going back up. Sorry about that. The big shot is huge, takes up a lot of space where the spellbinder sides fold up like little wings and can be moved around pretty simply. And I think it's like half the weight. Definitely not as heavy. Definitely not.
Maybe we should do a versus video. Big shot versus spellbinder. Our battle royales of crafting.
I'm going back to our card, taking the toppers and the card base, and I'm going to glue them together. And I'll be using my Barely Arts glue, which is really nice. It doesn't, it dries fast. A little dab will do you. And it dries clear also.
And it's water soluble. So you can, if you get some extra glue, laying out there, you can just take a very, very damp microfiber cloth. We use cheap things that we pick up all over the place. I just grabbed a whole bunch of mainstay ones I found on Amazon, and we just kind of keep those. We have 5 or 6 of them on our desk, and we just kind of wet them a little bit with a spray bottle and wipe off our excess glue if we have any. And the Barely Arts we get from Amazon. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. $11.99 for a 2-ounce bottle. Sometimes they run specials for the 4-ounce bottle, which is what she's using. I think we picked that one up for like $15. So one of the tricks I do with Amazon, and other people I know have to do it too, is I have a cart full of stuff. And then Amazon does this thing where they notify you. There's like a message about an item in your cart, and it'll actually tell you when a price drops or when it goes up. I usually wait until that puppy drops and then I pop it into the cart.
So when you go to glue the topper down, you don't push it down all the way at first. So that way it doesn't adhere too fast. And then if you're not centered right, you can go and move it around before you go and put the final push to it and have it on the card.
You can also use your bone folder to spread the glue out underneath so that it's nice and even. It'll take it all the way to your corners. That's when we usually have to use our cloths. We usually have to use our cloths because if we put too much glue on it, it'll come out on the edges. But that really smooths it out underneath when you add that pressure to it like she's doing now.
Before I put my topper on, I'm going to color it with some Brilliance ink. So I'm going to start with my blending ink.
She's going to use the Brilliant Sky Blue. We got that from Amazon at $11.48, but it does come in a 4-pack. I did not find this specific color. The Sky Blue, I couldn't find that in an individual one. I only found it in the 4-pack.
Sky blue, lavender, pink, and purple. These are amazing colors.
They really are. They're great for the sentiments too because they're thick. Now, when you're ink blending, she's grabbing a scrap piece. When you're ink blending, absolutely tap it on either scrap piece of paper or your craft mat or your glass mat. So that way you don't wind up with this big like circle that's super, super dark that you can't blend.
I love doing this technique.
And you're good at it too. You really do make the paper look like a sky. It's a shame the colors don't come up as vibrant on camera as they do in person. So we kind of have to make everything a little bit darker so you can actually see the colors.
These have such a pearl essence to them also.
Yeah, the shimmer is really nice. You can catch it in the light and it kind of makes the sky look even better.
Trying to get a little bit darker so you can see here. And you just do little swirls around.
The more pressure you apply, of course, the darker it's going to get. And see how she comes off the paper, that really does give the edge of the paper will absorb more of the ink than the sides will. So you can really put like this dark frame around it.
And the one thing you want to make sure is that you don't get any ink on your fingers. And if you do, you wipe it off before you go and touch more of the paper.
Oh, ask me how I know. Why is that fingerprint there?
Yes, it's happened before. So I just wipe out the brush a little bit on my scrap to make sure that there's no excess.
Yeah, ink powder is not fun. Because if you don't get it off there when it dries, it'll just flake off the next time you use the brush. We clean our brushes with a Stays-On spray. And then we just kind of spray it on there, rinse them off real good, and then we set them back in their holder so that they can dry.
So back to our gluing part. Now I can go and glue this topper on.
You could do it 2 ways. You could use glue, or if you want a little more dimension, you could use foam dots. She decided not to do the foam dots because of all of the busyness and dimension that's going to actually be on top of this for her sky. But you certainly could do some foam dots to make it pop up.
Yes. Well, I will be using foam dots, just not yet. And before I put my glue away, I'm just going to glue my angel that I colored off camera. Glue them together.
And we do layers to stiffen up the angel since he's going to be on a foam pad.
Looking for my pin here. We put the pin in the top of the glue to go and make sure that it doesn't dry out.
Yeah, that precision tip is very, very thin. So that's a good point. Another good tip.
Okay. So the other thing that I was going to do was put clouds on my base also. I'm going to set the rest of my card aside for right now, and I'm going to use some embossing. This is how we do the embossing. We get the, I'm going to be using Brutus Monroe powder, embossing powder. It's icicle. Comes in a 1 ounce jar.
It's an ultra fine powder too. The ultra fine powders, they work great with the heat. They're fast. It runs for $5.99 on scrapbook.com, which is where we got ours from. I think Brutus Monroe also has his own website. They have a embossing powder of the month thing. But one of the things that they don't tell you, now we joined that club, and one of the things that they do not mention is you don't get a container to put the embossing powder of the month in. You get a plastic bag.
That's good to know. That's really good to know.
And we're using the VersaFine embossing pad. Ours is a little stained up. That's what happens when you put ink on and you don't let it dry.
And I'm going to be using this transparent craft mat.
Just to keep our area clean so she doesn't have to worry about wiping off a glass mat. You do it just like a stamp.
There we go.
Just a little bit'll do ya.
Yeah. That's amazing.
It is. They're very pretty.
So I think I'm going to go and finish the other two clouds off camera. Okay, so I'm back from going and embossing the other two clouds.
I don't even think they noticed you were gone. No, I'm just kidding.
Yay. we added the little bit more blue to the cloud. It gives such a nice shimmer to it.
Yeah, it really does.
I think I'm going to put this guy like this.
Oh, yeah, and put his little feet on it. Yeah, that'll be...
Oh, yeah.
When you add the foam tape and do the different dimensions, sometimes you can put things on top of things and really put the shadow under it from the light to make it look like he's really standing on that cloud.
This is going to look so good.
Yeah, it's going to be cute.
All right, so now that I have them where I think I'm going to keep them, I hope I'm going to keep them.
Well, once you glue them down, you don't have a choice.
That's true. That's definitely true. Little dab will do you here.
That is your favorite saying. But we won't say what your other favorite saying is because we are on camera.
Or how about pinkies out?
Okay, there's a story behind that. Colleen was using a rotary blade. That's the circle blade. And she was cutting paper with it. She was trying to get like some kind of a, I don't know. I don't remember what she was doing.
I think we were just trimming the edge off something.
Yeah, something like that. And that's right. You were using the corner ruler. And she put the rotary cutter in, but had her pinky in the way. So I said, oh, you need to move your pinky. So now every time she uses a rotary cutter, she yells out to everybody in the craft room, pinky's out.
It's fun.
You are funny.
I just changed my clouds a little bit on where I'm placing them.
Oh, there you go. I like him right there.
Yeah. I think that's good.
You have a lot of white from your inking, from where you ink blended the base.
Yeah. It'll make it stand out a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I'm just making sure that I give myself room for the sentiment up on the top. So that's why I'm trying to place my clouds like not too close to the top. Right.
Now we won't use the bone folder right away on these because the ink, I think, might still be drying in some spots. That's the last thing we want is to stain the bone folder.
Definitely don't want that.
No.
This one we could pop up a little bit higher. Now I did leave them on the edge a little bit. And I am going to cut them off. But first we're going to pop our... 3, 2... We're going to be using foam squares to pop them up.
Now we get our foam squares from the Dollar Tree. They're running for $1.25 now. All dollar stores in our area. I don't know if that's the same everywhere. Maybe someone could let me know in the comments. But our Dollar Tree raised all of its prices to $1.25, and they have a $5 section. And then we have a 5 below that you go into, and it's now a $15 below. So
Wow.
why have a dollar store if you're going to raise the price? You should just change the name to a $1.25 store.
It's like the 99-cent stores now over 99 cents.
Yeah, you go in there and you're like, wait, what?
Yeah, and their craft section is amazing. Some of the stamps that we've gotten from there
Yeah, we have. You're right.
turn out great.
They're silicone, but some of them turn out and some of them don't. I mean, we have gotten some from there where whatever mold they used, it kind of made it too thin in some spots and it didn't show up. But we have a Misty now, so that's really not as much of a problem as it used to be.
Okay, so popping them up here. Leaves them floating above the clouds. A little bit of extra dimension. We also have different size of foam adhesives. Okay, I'm going to take my scissors here and just snip off the edges of the clouds. And just like so.
I'm not going to get into the scissors too much because our next video has them in complete detail.
So the sentiment I'm going to use is my angel one. My friends are angels. So I'm going to use my Fiscar stamping block instead of using the Misty for the sentiment. And it's really nice because it has curved edges that you can use as the holder to it. And I'm going to use my Brilliance Lavender.
That one comes in that 4-pack we were talking about. I like those Fiscar stamp blocks.
They're so awesome to use.
They are. They have this little curve to them. Your fingers stay out of the way. So they have these little grippers on the side. And the larger ones have those little feet that you can push down so you can kind of hover it over the card and get it where you want it. But these Brilliance inks are one stamp and done.
Yeah, I'm trying not to put too much on there so that way it dries a little bit quicker and I don't smudge it like I've done before.
Hey, that's one of those ask us how we know things. Well, with these Brilliance inks, one of the things that I've noticed is they almost look embossed.
We have our Recollections Circle Punch. It's a 2-inch. Gonna slide my trusty friend in here. Beautiful.
That is the fastest way to make a sentiment is with a paper punch. Although I think you're still fussy cutting the punch, aren't you?
Yes. I'm now using my cloud scissors.
And snip, snip.
And here we go. We put a little foam back there. And I didn't push it down too hard. So I'm able to angle it a little bit better.
Oh, he's perfect.
Now the last thing I want to do is I want to add my bones to it.
They kind of bring out the browns and the beiges too. I think that was a good color.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do add a pretty finishing touch. And there you have it.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Me too. Next week, we will be putting 2 crafting products to the test, letting you know the benefits and differences of each one.
We hope to see you again, and thank you for watching.